Make a date with Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
Hello, this is Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. And this morning, I'd like to capture my thoughts with the words, landmarks of faith. And I've moved from Genesis chapter 12 to Genesis chapter 13. Now, in Genesis chapter 13, verse 4, I see something over there. The Bible says Abraham built an altar, and there he began to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, the place where Abraham built an altar, he had already been there before. But in leaving the place now, when he came at that place, he built an altar and began to call upon the Lord. I said my thought this morning are captured by the words, landmarks of faith. You know, Abraham had a relationship with God. And that relationship had geographical testimonies. At this place, God did this. At this place, God did this. At this place, God did this. Now see what Abraham did. Abraham marked those places of experiences with God. He marked those places. He built an altar there. And on his journey, he came into one of them. He stood at that place and said, I have an interaction with God here. This is a landmark of my faith. This is a landmark of my relationship with God. But my landmark was a yesterday experience. My landmark was yesterday occurrence. My landmark was a yesterday blessing. And the Bible said Abraham stood at that landmark and began to call out unto God. So you know what? Abraham stood on his past experience with God and reached out for new experiences with God. Abraham used the testimonies that God had given him. Abraham used the landmarks of experiences God had given him. He stood at that place and said, God, hey God, I remember you did this. I remember I remember I am calling you. You are the same God. So, hey, I need some new experiences. So Abraham used that place to reach out for something new. In your work with God, you have landmarks. There are places or there are testimonies. I don't mean geographical places, but I'm talking about emotional geographies or spiritual geographies or geographical places. Something are places that God did something for you. Sometimes you need to stand upon those places. You need to stand upon the old to reach out for the new. You need to stand upon your old testimony to reach out for you, just like David. David said, the God who gave me victory over the lion and the bear will give me victory over Goliath. So he stood on his old altars and called out to the God who is able to save and deliver. And he said, this guy will fall. Goliath will fall. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that use your past experience. Don't just discard them. Don't just throw them away. Sometimes you need to note them down, and not just note them down, but use it as a standpoint. Use it as a plan and say, God, you did this some time ago. You are still there. God, you did. You did that. So, man, I believe you can also do that and use those places, use those spiritual experiences, use those experiences of blessing, stand upon them to launch out into the new and ask God for the new. Call out for the new. Landmarks of faith. You always have them. You just don't pay attention to them. Pay attention to them. All the choices are always yours. See you later.